Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you a movie about a young girl who sees one of her best friends pass away before her eyes. The Hate U Give. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie starts off with a family sitting at a table. The dad is preparing them on what happens if they encounter the police. He's teaching them what to do when they are in the car when being pulled over, and teaching them about the Black Panther rights. We come to find out that this story is told from the perspective of a little girl named Star. After that, the movie fast forwards to when Star is in high school. She is in a locker room talking to her friends about how much she wants to break up with her boyfriend, which FYI she ends up not breaking up with him. So after school that day she goes to a party with her other friends around the neighborhood, and her one friend ditches her because she feels like she will have to babysit Star all night. Left alone at the party, she runs into an old childhood friend named Khalili. As they are catching up, a fight breaks out and they hear shots being fired. Everyone goes running out the door and Star leaves with Khalili in his car. While driving back home they both end up getting pulled over by the police. Confused, he pulls over and immediately Star begins to panic and tells him what to do in this situation. The officer comes up to the window and Khalili starts to argue with him, saying he didn't do anything. This angers the officer, so he forces him out of the car, leaving Star sitting alone. The cop makes him put his hands on the car as he walks back to him, and as he is gone, Khalili sticks his head in the window and makes sure Star is okay and reaches for a hairbrush. The police sees him doing this and immediately shoots him, thinking he was grabbing a gun. Star screams and runs out of the car to see the damage. The cop, confused because he thought it was a gun, begins to panic and calls shots fired on his walkie-talkie. She turns to Khalil and sees his lifeless body laying on the road. After Star is taken to the police station to be questioned, her parents are there with her. Two detectives walk in and ask her questions about what happened, making it seem like it wasn't the cop's fault and asking a lot more questions about the victim's life rather than what really happened. Later on they find out the cop who killed him is only going to be put on paid leave and then eventually have a trial, and Star will have to be put in front of a grand jury. Star doesn't like that, as she just wanted to keep quiet and didn't want people to know that she was with him the night of the incident. Despite Star keeping quiet, people are slowly starting to find out about how she was with Khalil the night he passed away and now wants her to fight for him. She goes to his funeral and sees a ton of news cameras outside and protests demanding justice for him. The next day at school she sees her friends holding flyers demanding the students to skip school for the day in honor of Khalil. And when she walks out of the door she sees everyone at her school who are all white partying, celebrating a way out of not going to class. Seeing this upsets her greatly and lights a fire under her to raise more awareness. She agrees to do an interview talking about the situation as long as her face the entire time was blurred out. She still wanted to remain anonymous. The interviewer asks her about if Khalil sold illegal substances and asks if he was a bad person. Star says he took the only available job to help him since his grandma had cancer, which then in turn tells the interviewer about the drug lords that he worked with. A big mistake. When the interview is done her family takes her out for dinner. As they are eating she looks out the window and a drug lord gang is staring at them all. Her dad goes out there to get them away, and they all start to fight. Police come up all around them. The gang gets away but her dad is left there surrounded by cops. He gets pushed down the ground while being questioned. The family runs out to try to stop them when Star makes the decision to start to record them, and then police then walk away after they realize who she is. When they get home her dad lines her and her brother/sister on the grass and makes them remember the Black Panther rules, saying to always use your voice, never stay quiet or let anyone make you be quiet. Weeks pass and it's Star's prom night at her school. She goes with her boyfriend and decides to tell him what happened and why she has been so reserved. After prom he drops her off back at her house and then her and her family start talking about her relationship. As they are laughing and making jokes the worst thing happens. All of the sudden bullets fly throughout the house and her dad runs outside to see the gang members speed off, warning Star once again to keep her mouth shut. When it's finally her day to testify she tells the jury what a good person Khalil was and how he never owned a gun and how he shouldn't have ever. The next day she goes to school. Everybody knows she was the girl in the car with Khalil now. Her friend comes up to her and starts telling Star that Khalil deserved to because he was gonna die anyways. She takes out a hairbrush and asks her if this looks like a weapon and then scares her to fall to the ground and start crying. Angry, Star runs away and her boyfriend follows. They get into his car and she starts to scream and punch things as she gets a call from somebody that his brother got beat up. They quickly go to where he is and pick him up to take him back home. While driving they run into a protest with people screaming justice for Khalil. They all decide to go to the protest. This is where Star regains her power. She gets a hold of a microphone and starts saying how much his life matters as she is talking. The police are telling all of them to disperse. She doesn't care as she still keeps shouting Khalil lived, repeatedly as the police are counting down. As they get to 1, the police start pushing at the protesters with riot shields and beating up people, firing smoke grenades trying to get them to leave. Star finds a smoke grenade on the ground and throws it back to the police, and then she starts running away. They run to her dad's grocery store where King the drug lord starts the building on fire with them inside of it. Their dad comes to save them. As they get out of the building, they are encountered with the gang members, and suddenly we see Star's little brother holding up a weapon towards the gang members. The police show up and point their weapons at the little boy, and now they are surrounded by police. They are able to get the little boy to drop it and then get the police to back off. Later on, King the drug lord gets arrested by everyone talking to the cops about him and what he has done. The movie ends with Star looking at baby pictures of her and Khalil.